Hey everyone, welcome to Change a Raymond podcast. I'm Maggie, your host for today. I'm so excited that you are able to join us. Today we're going to be talking about things I wish I knew before having babies. So I'm a mom of four, five and under. So I want to share with you, mom out there, you expecting moms, you want to try to be a mom, those who are moms and can relate. I want to share with you guys my experience because I don't want you guys to be out of the loop. I don't want you to experience some of the things that you can avoid if you knew. So, join me as we just discuss and just dive into some of the things that I wish I knew before. Because, Lord, if I knew these things would have been a lot different. So, I'm just so excited that I can share with you guys some of the things that I experienced. Like, I have been pregnant, breastfeeding for the past 6 years nonstop. So, I am so excited to kind of take you along the journey. And I'm going to start all the way from the beginning with my first child. I have three boys and one girl. So, my daughter, Hananiah, she's the oldest. She's 5 years old. And being pregnant with her, it was truly a joy, but also a roller coaster of emotions because I was not expecting to just have a baby so soon in our earlier parts of our marriage. I mean, we just got married on our 1 year anniversary. I was going out to one of my favorite restaurants to eat. We were going together and I just could not eat the food. And I was like, why is this the case? So, of course, I was pregnant. So, I was like happy, but kind of like annoyed a little bit because I just can't actually eat this food. But that food irritation was not the first thing. Like that was like a mild. But throughout my pregnancy, I had to literally go raw for 3 months because I could not stomach food. So my first thing that I wish I knew was the food irritation level. Like with my other three, it was not that bad, but the first one, I'm telling you, I could not eat food, anything. I couldn't smell it. The scent of my favorite delicious dishes were just like I could not even, don't bring it near me. So that was the first thing I wish I knew, how irritated I would have been to food around that time. And it was not until after I realized that that is something pretty normal. But at the time going through it, I did not enjoy that. But God is good because He pulled me through it. And the next thing, like throughout my pregnancy, like I had a wonderful pregnancy. All my pregnancies were really, really good. This one was especially good because I had no real like morning sickness. Other than the food irritation, the pregnancy really went well. I did my basic things that I always did. It wasn't like stopping me from anything severe. It was just really, really good. I enjoyed my pregnancy. Now, going out to the day of delivery. Now, my daughter, she was a couple days off the due date, and I expected that. And if it was, I was okay with just prolonging that process and being okay with that process. So I did not like intervene at all, but I was totally like mentally prepared to deliver her naturally, completely. And leading up to that time, I did not expect for it to go that fast. I mean, super fast. My OB at the time, she told us to wait until I can't take it anymore and then come to the hospital. Now, I waited until I couldn't take it anymore, and that was just too long. I literally was about to deliver her like in the waiting room. So with that process, I really wish I knew about breathing techniques. So my first pregnancy, I didn't know about how to breathe through contractions. So my second pregnancy, I learned those breathing techniques and that was a game changer. I literally had almost zero to pain throughout the whole time. Only two times throughout the whole experience that I feel any type of pain. And it was because my sweet husband left my side for a little bit and he was helping me through it and breathing with me through it. So That's the second thing that I wish I knew in my first pregnancy is truly how to breathe through contractions and be able to go through that without that severe pain. And the next thing I wish I knew, especially in the first and the second and the third, but definitely in the first, I wish I knew how to avoid tears. Now, you women out there, if you had a baby and you teared, you may have had like a first degree tear or a second degree tear. No, I had a fourth degree tear, the worst tear that you can have. And man, oh man, the recovery process for that tear is beyond what I've expected. So, because I had her so quickly and literally none of my doctors was able to make it to the births except for this last one because I made sure like I'm gonna be there on time and things gonna work out where my doctor, my doula, my midwife, they're all gonna be there. So this first time around, I did not know that I was gonna be so quick. The baby was gonna come so quickly, and because of the force and my OB wasn't there, I didn't know anyone. They literally just pulled someone and just like, hey, come and deliver this child. I never saw that person's face, so because of the force and the quickness of it, I did tear. And man, oh man, that recovery is worse than ever. Because now my fourth child, I didn't tear like that severe at all. And the recovery process was completely different. So I definitely wish I knew. And I definitely wished that I was prepared for that smooth transition in when to push and how to push. So, really learning that to deliver the baby myself. Now, I told you my first baby, no doctor, no OB that I know. And they just literally pulled someone. The second one, same thing. The third one, same thing. So, I was like, listen, this is not going to happen again. I'm going to learn how to deliver this baby on my own. So I was determined to make sure I know how to deliver this child. And of course, the state, let me back up and let you know the state that I live in, I can't actually, well, at the time, now it's actually legal, but it wasn't legal for me to be able to birth at home. You must actually birth in a hospital setting. And I was completely fine with that because I knew like my process was gonna be quick and easy and like no interventions. And the last baby, he is 4 months right now, so it's still fresh and new, all this birthing experience. I was able to have a midwife, but only in the hospital. But that was fine as well. I truly enjoyed the process, even though it was super quick, and I didn't even get to really like settle in for most of them, but I truly enjoy it. The next thing I want to just tell you, I wish I knew before having babies was truly, moms out there, if you had your first one, you would know most people, your maternal instincts may not kick in right away. Like, truly, you might just have birthed this child and you're just looking like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this baby? Like, the whole pressure of like just birthing a child, it makes you get in shock mode or whatever. However you respond, you're going to respond in a way that's like, what is going on here? You may not actually be all lovey-dovey and just all that mom flow may not just happen right away. And for me, I was in shock mode because it's my first and it happened so quick. I sat down, lay down, I should say, one push, and she was out. So my whole body was in shock mode. I was like literally in shock for hours. They were telling me, I was like, do I have to deliver the placenta now yet? And they're like, deliver the placenta? You already that baby came out with the placenta. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm here like, oh, okay. And they gave me the baby, and I'm like, okay, like literally in shock because the way how my body just literally it all happened. It was so quick that I could not believe that this just happened. So that instinct to actually put the baby to the breast and breastfeed her was not there. So I literally was laying there, and she was so sweet because she didn't cry. She just laid sleep with me for like hours, and I just lay there with her and just slept. And she was just there, and I was just holding her. I don't know when I actually clicked back into reality, but I'm literally there. And then this lactation consultant, this sweet lady, came in and asked me, "How is breastfeeding going?" I was like, "Breastfeeding?" Like, I was so out of it. I forgot I was supposed to feed her. And that, in that one act, seems like, oh my, how did you? Yeah. But it actually transformed my breastfeeding experience because I felt like, oh no, a terrible mom. But then she really reassured me that babies come out and they can actually go 24 hours without feeding. Not that I would do that, but the assurance, I felt like, oh no, like I didn't feed my child. But they were like, "You're okay. Like the baby is fine." The fact that she's not even crying, she's fine. And that eased me. And I was like, man, like, okay, let's do this. Now I try to latch her on. It didn't work out. They're like, it's fine, it'll work out. Just keep trying, just keep trying. So of course I kept trying. And I tell you, breastfeeding was the most the hardest thing, the most painful thing I ever went through. Worse than the birth, literally, because the birth was so quick. But breastfeeding and the pain and the struggle was so long. Like I literally struggled for 5 months of breastfeeding, pain, crying. It was just too much. But I stuck through it because I really believed that I could do it and I really desired to. And I'm not like saying this is for everyone. I'm just telling you my experience. Like it is hard at times, but truly you can push through. And one of the reasons why it was so hard for me, because I had so much fear. Like because of the pain that I was feeling, I had a whole lot of fear, so it wasn't a smooth transition when it comes to breastfeeding. So I would advise you moms that even if it's hard, if it's tough, if you desire to do so, truly think about the fears that is stopping you from actually doing it. And I'll get into breastfeeding one time and just really share with you guys how and all that fears and how it affects you in breastfeeding. But I just wanted to just touch bases on that just real briefly, just letting you guys know, like, truly, one of the things that really stopped the breastfeeding process from going smoothly is fear. So, to fast forward, my fourth child, I had him, and the day we came home from the hospital, my third child, he was sick. He was throwing up. He was so sick, and he was sick for 3 weeks. All those time when I was just came home, had to take him to the hospital, all kinds of stuff. And because I was so concerned about him, my third child, Isaiah, that my last child, Nathaniel, while I was feeding him, I mean, breastfeeding was a piece of cake because my direction was like all the fears, all the anything that I would ever feel towards anything was directed to the first one because of what he was going through. So all the fears that I may have had, even throughout the second time and the third time, it was all gone. And truly, God has truly worked that all out. And the next thing that I would say that I wish I knew before having babies or even having my first and all the way on through was diastasis recti, the split in your abdomen. Like I did not know that birthing a child actually makes that like separate. And for me, I literally had like this separate, I still do, I have to work on that, but the separation in your abdomen, making your core like weak, and having like just your all your intestine stuff just kind of stick bunch out, like truly from delivering a baby and not actually allowing that to heal and working on it and healing it. Like I did not even know that until my third child. Like I really realized that this is what's going on. So diastasis recti is something that I wish I knew about, that I could have helped throughout the pregnancy to help stay that separation, that it was not that much. But and the next thing I wish I knew is, man, breastfeeding, like I was saying, it's like a full-time job. I thought that it was just gonna be so natural, just pop that baby on, feed him, and just go about. But no, it's a full-time job. I did not realize that. Besides the pain, the fact that it's like demanding and it's truly like a full-time job. And not being prepared for all that like time, and especially in the beginning where they cluster feed and you're just like constantly having to feed them and you're sore and all those things. And I wish I knew clearly like before that how important it was to like moisturize um your breasts and your nipples before having the baby. Not necessarily as much, like you do need to do it all the time while you're feeding, but beforehand, like giving those nipple creams like beforehand is super important because you are able to like keep that in a not just like lotions and stuff like you when you just normally like rub yourself down. No, like having those creams on beforehand. It it's a game changer for breastfeeding. And I wish I knew that as well. And the next thing I wish I knew was how real postpartum depression is, especially in the early stages, because you're new to this. Like, this is totally a new thing. Like, you just birth this baby and you're left kind of to take care of everything on your own, even though you read about it, you have your family and support, your husband, but like you must take care of this kid and you have to understand why they're crying, why are they not sleeping, what's going on, do I have to literally change you every time? Like these things are just amazingly like different. Like you're just thrown into this new world and you have to like truly take care of this child. And so postpartum depression was something that I did not realize that it would happen to me. Like I heard about it, but the worry levels, like literally the baby sleeping and I'm there just listening and wondering and thinking about what's going on. Like, should I go? I hear these little noises. Should I pick her up? And now having four kids, like they make those noises. They're okay. They're sleeping. They're fine. Even if they cry just like a little bit, like they're gonna be okay. So having those times when I'm supposed to be sleeping and instead I'm up worrying about her right there, or she is not sleeping good, or I feel like she's not feeding well, so I'm just down on myself and all those hormones are just all over the place and I'm feeling like happy one day, sad the other. And truly, I wish I knew that like that is normal and that happens and how to avoid it. So truly within the pregnancy and I mean within the time period of me birthing her and going through that, thankfully my husband was able to just bless me with the word and just help me and pull me out of that place and get me a level head. So I was just very thankful that even though I didn't really prepare for that throughout it, the Lord was able to just help me through it. So the next thing that I wished I knew before having these babies, especially the first one, nothing, I mean nothing, can prepare you for sleep deprivation. Like, listen, you are not going to always be able to sleep when the baby sleeps. So you're going to have to stay up a lot. And I told you guys in my last podcast, like if you know me, I love my sleep. Sleep is what I do. Like listen, if I have a time anytime I get a chance to sleep, I will take it. And having to stay up and wake up with a baby, oh no. Like I was not accustomed in no way, shape, or form in waking up in the night. I do not stay up late. I don't like ever being up it for anything. So having to get up with a baby, that was the hardest thing for me. Or even staying awake to feed her. The hardest thing because I'm just sleeping. Like I'm supposed to be feeding her and I'm just knocked out. So I thought like, sleep before the baby come and just prepare yourself. No way. That did not prepare me at all. Truly, I was sleep deprived completely. So having that experience really changed my view on sleep and everything. So even you would think after four kids, I'll actually be better at that. Still not better at that. But yes. And then the next thing, all in sleep rammed. I really wish I truly how understood how to sleep train. I thought the saying like sleep like a baby, like baby sleep. No, not really. So I really had to learn how to sleep train. I didn't really do it well at all in my first, but my second and on, like I got it. I was getting better because the first time I did not realize like sleep training. I thought this girl was come up and just sleep, but no, that did not happen. So I wish I knew clearly how and why and like the how to's in sleep training, especially in the earlier time. Thank God she's much older and we're so past that with her. But man, you have to literally help them. Like they're just like there and you think like they'll just sleep on a wonderful schedule. No way. I get the like in the beginning stages, they sleep a lot in the day and then in the night they're up. But besides that, I was kind of prepared for that part a little bit. Like I knew, but not that I thought they would just get in the groove and sleep, but that was not the case. So I was in for a rude awakening. And the next thing that I really thought that I was going to bounce right back after like a month of having her. I thought my body was gonna bounce back. Like I was just gonna be ready to take on the world. And that was far from the reality. Like because of the tear, it made the process of recovery so much harder. And my body went through so much changes and with the first one that after every other birth it got a little easier because it wasn't like the dramatic change that it went through. And I planned for her baby dedication to be a month after, not in where I lived. It was like 3 hours away, and where I live currently, but that was not where I lived before. So I planned for that, and my family came in from out of town. My good friend came in from out of town. Another friends of mine came in, and we were just like all there. And I really thought that, yeah, a month from after having a baby, I'll be fine. We can do all this fun stuff. No, I was so wrong. I was in severe pain. I was just going through it. And breastfeeding did not go well at all in the first month. So all of that was a heavy load pretty much for me. So I thought I was just gonna bounce back and be all good. But now, knowing what I know now with the other babies, like especially I just had one 4 months ago, a month after, I feel great because I now know the things that I should have done to prepare my body and to prepare myself to actually have that afterbirth beauty. Like I was really focused and studying on like Burton and pregnancy that like the after stuff, like I couldn't see far. I could not. I was like my eyes was darkened. So I could not like clearly see that man, I should prepare for this. No, I did not see that far. So it was not what I thought when I thought I was just gonna be okay, because most people would. But for me, I didn't know like the things that I had to check off, like try and consider. But now with the first and then the second, it was much easier. And then the third, it was much easier. And the fourth, it was great. Like I bounced back. Like the first week, I was feeling great. And the second week, man, I felt great. And the third and the fourth, I was feeling really, really good. Like my body felt better. So one of the main reasons was because I did not tear, like a 4th degree tear. Um, so those are just some of the things that I wish I knew before having a baby. Because if I knew those things, my experience would have been different. But I'm thankful that God allowed me to go through that because, sometimes we want this perfect experience and everything to go right. And sometimes it doesn't. How to handle those times and how to navigate through them and how to um just allow God to work it all out. So even though you may go through something, you may be a first time mom going through this, or you may be pregnant or you desire one day to have a baby. Even though you hear these things and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely do this. know that your experience is going to be totally different, and know that you are going to be able to go through it, and you're going to be able to bless someone else that may have to go through that same thing, and they're like, wow, I wish I knew, or I need some help through it. You're like, listen, I've been there, I know what you are going through, here is how to help you. So in my experience, I'm thankful that it was a challenge, because guess what, now I can be a blessing and a help to others that are in those similar situations. And now I can see, like, man, I definitely know that one thing that I knew that I was going to do throughout this pregnancies and birthing experience, that my mindset was going to be of a positive mindset. I believed that by the grace of God, like, I can do this. And truly, that last pregnancy and the last delivery was the hardest one. But because of the consistency of my mindset throughout the first three, I knew I can go through this. So if I was to reverse it and have the last one first, oh boy, I don't know if I could have had that mental, like, I had to pull through to get through that. All those different challenges that I had in my last pregnancy would have been like super hard to go through. So I'm so thankful that God allowed the challenges to be hard, but not where I could not bear it. So stay tuned, because I'm going to unfold a lot more motherhood, breastfeeding, and just childbirthing, all those experience with you guys. Because, and we're also going to have like special guests with us, that people that are studying these topics, and just share with us these things. So I hope that you guys are doing have an amazing rest of the evening, and that God will just continue to bless you. And for you all moms, know that God is able, and He is blessing and helping you through this process. So may the grace of God be with you all. See you all in our next podcast. Bye-bye.